She did a service and a favor of taking a quick loss. And again, it's not like she would need the victory as a rehab for that to stay over.
Hello, everyone. Welcome down to Sportskeeda down here at Apter's Alley, and SummerSlam is looming. And for a special preview of that card, I have invited to Sportskeeda the quintessential, did I pronounce that right?
Absolutely. You know, you
stud muffin, and someone who's very educated in the world of professional wrestling.
So someone else is joining us?
And sports entertainment. You all know him from his classic days at ECW. Joel Gertner, welcome to the Apter Chat and Sportskeeda.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Apter. I feel like I've been had, and like the pleasure in that has been all mine.
Well, thank you very much. So you watch all the companies. I know that. Before we get started, tell everybody where they can find you on social media and what you're doing these days.
Well, sure. These days, I've been working on just being kind of an outside overlooking overlord when it comes to my social media. You'll see that it's hashtag bigger than the business, except for certain days when I get a wild bug and it's hashtag better than the business, which makes me the independent contractor. It makes me a freelancer of all freelancers. And it, of course, as it always has, makes me the hottest free agent in professional wrestling who is not currently in professional wrestling. So I have the luxury of always having a day off and always being able to talk about WWE, AEW, Impact, and everything else. You can find me on social media, if you must, at Twitter, although I often feel like that platform is, doing itself disservices. But that could turn around on time. So.
Did you say if you must or if you must?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, you're into it.
Well, where can they find you on Twitter?
On Twitter, unless, like you said, Elon buys it and turns it into a Tesla message forum. You can find me at Stud Muffin Says. I would prefer for the next week or two, maybe for the remainder of July, you might have better luck finding me on Instagram at Quintessential Stud Muffin. I do have a YouTube channel, Joel Gertner, and to make up for the Twitter deficiency in the next couple of weeks, I am establishing my brand on Twitch, and you can find me on Twitch at Stud Muffin's Joystick.
All right, so right now we find you here at Sportskeeda, Apter's Alley. I have the official card for SummerSlam 2022.
That's a good thing, because a lot of the talent and a lot of people in the office and creative won't have the official card until 6 p.m. that day, so you're looking good.
That is a possibility. So this is the card that we currently have just a few days before the actual event, and which you people can watch, of course, on Peacock. Or if you're in Europe, you can watch it on the WWE Network, and or you can come over to my place and watch it. So, or come to Joel's place. Anyway, so let's go down the card here, and let's see who you predict will win and who will lose and why. We're going to start off with a something that's heated up very much in the past few weeks, and this is The Miz not wanting to accept the challenge of the internet sensation and everything else that he's accomplished, Logan Paul. Who do you see winning this one, and why?
I mean, on what level? Like everything else, it depends how you measure. It depends on, there's going to be a lot of stuff, Bill, that we can do our best. And you have decades upon decades in the wrestling business, and I've been in for about 30 years myself, and we can try our best to make a prediction, but there's a lot of stuff we don't know. How long has Logan Paul been signed for? How frequently within that window? So for how many appearances? And we just don't know the end game, This is the biggest show until the upcoming WrestleMania next year. There will be Saudi shows. There will be UK shows. But this is a big one, and in the United States, the second biggest one. So we go into kind of an 8-month period, at least domestically, like I've said, where this is the biggest show, and it depends what are the plans, or do they even know?
Well, let's look at this as a sporting event. Okay?
As a sporting event.
Let's not look at it as the smart wrestling fans. Let's look at it as we're wrestling fans, and this is pro wrestling. You're a fan watching this. Let's go back to you 20 years ago as a fan, 20, 30 years ago. As a sporting
event, is Maurice going to be at ringside? Because if Maurice is going to be at ringside, it's just like in boxing, which Logan Paul is familiar with. Right. You never know when something could happen, like Mike Tyson trying to bite your ear bone off the side of your face. And that's the kind of tactic that The Miz might engage in, or Maurice might, in their first encounter at SummerSlam with Logan Paul. So by all rights, when you're in there with the likes of top heavyweight boxers and holding your own like Logan Paul has been, you would think that Logan Paul would have an easy night off in disposing with The Miz. But to be honest, I think The Miz might find some way to establish that the WWE is his home ground. And I look for him to be able to, wrestling-wise, outsmart Logan Paul and get what, at least for him, he will be able to tout on TV the following week as a victory.
Now, what I think is going to happen is I think that Logan Paul, with his background, of course, in boxing, etc., is going to hit an amazing KO punch. And 1, 2, 3, that's it for The Miz. Yeah, so that's what I think that's my prediction for this match. Let's move on right now to Bianca Belair, the champion currently, against the new, almost insane Becky Lynch. And I'm looking at Becky Lynch to take the victory here because she's more unpredictable than I have ever seen her before.
I think, again, we're going to agree to disagree, and not just for the sake of doing so or good content. Not to be contrarian to you or to anything else.
No,
but honestly, yeah, when I look at the match and when you say we're doing this, on a sports level and on a storyline level, not that Bianca Belair needs anything to be more over than she currently is. I find her amazing. I'm a big fan and admirer of her work. However, and again, this is part storyline, part business, but she did a service and a favor of taking a quick loss. And again, it's not like she would need the victory as a rehab for that to stay over. But I also think that as a heel, and in her new iteration of being as crazy as she is, and continuing to be in the prime of reinventing herself week to week, month to month, and premium live event to premium live event in that vein, I think more out of the two, Becky Lynch could take a loss here to a very, very strong and momentum riding Bianca Belair. And I'm going to go with Bianca Belair.
Okay. That's we all have our picks here. So, all right. Then we have Seth frickin' Rollins against Riddle. And this is, I think my pick here would be Seth frickin' Rollins. And I think eventually Randy Orton is going to come back and seek revenge for whatever happens to Riddle in this particular match. Where are you going on this one?
Oh, I think it's going to be a hell of a match.
Yeah, me too.
Seth Rollins, everybody knows his pedigree, Ring of Honor, Tyler Black. Everybody knows he's training wrestlers now. Nathan Frazier, NXT UK. I mean, he's unbelievable in the ring and charismatic, on the mic and outside of it as well. Riddle, very charismatic. Riddle, somebody who has been on my radar for quite a while, locally trained not too far away at a school that I'm affiliated with, the Monster Factory.
Yes.
So I'm familiar on a certain level with both of these guys, so I can't root for either because I wouldn't root against either. So on that level, personally, I don't have a dog in the fight, nor can I really make a pick because I know how strong both of these are. So in a world where both of these guys are, on any given night in the WWE, anybody can win, but either of those two guys can pull off a win against either of the other, and it's kind of pick 'em. So in the interest of having fun, since I believe we disagreed on the first two picks, I enjoyed your assessment and rationale for why you picked Seth Rollins, and I'm going to agree with you and go with Seth.
Thank you. That's appreciated, and I think it's a good pick.